Yeah, it's Thursday, August 16, 2012. It's 13 hours and 43 minutes into the day. Yep. And it's time for the first segment of BigBangTheoryRL. Or should I say of this episode of BigBangTheoryRL. Yeah, it took me a while to get started. I've been in the editing bay here for a while now. I'm adding some more music that I'm adding to the background of BigBangTheoryRL. I try to choose music that's sort of representative of myself. The music that you hear in the background is the music that I grew up with. So yeah, that's why you hear what you hear. I'm a Greek-Syrian background, and this is what I'm playing is the older Greek-Syrian music. When it comes to music, I'm the type of guy who well, yeah, I do like some of what we call modern music or essentially pop, but I'm not a major fan of pop. I prefer older music, not necessarily when I was a kid. It's actually a lot older than that. I like bluegrass. I like a lot of what we call villager folk music. The Europeans call it folk music, but it's not really folk music. It's more of a village. It's the music that came out of the villages much earlier on. And the Greek music and the Syrian music that I play are sort of indicative of that type of music. That they don't have a current classification because they're basically outside the experience of European or Western music. The closest you get is bluegrass, which is the hills music, the music that would have come out of the hills, out of the villages back there. But again, the village lifestyle isn't really known too much to Western society. It's more something that's closer to the Eastern society that you have the village lifestyle. So that's where this music comes from. Ironically, or sort of in a parallel to this, this is the type of music that I like in church. The chant. There's a variety of different types of chants. Most people like the more modern, more sophisticated Byzantine chant, which is done in the cathedrals. I myself prefer the village chant. It's not as polished. It's a little rougher than the Byzantine chant is, but that's the way I prefer it. When I want to see something that particularly something that's old, I want to see the grittiness of it. It's kind of, listening to blues in a polished studio and without hearing the scratches and stuff like that. And if you're a blues fan and you know what I'm talking about in the blues, you're talking about these old scratchy old records. You got to hear the scratches. You got to hear the wornness of that. That's part of what makes blues the blues. Is its old connection to the feeling that you're going back in time to listening to actually something that's old, and that you don't want that sort of I guess you would call polished feeling. You want more of the roughness. You want to see some of that roughness, the grittiness, particularly because these people are talking about life and they're talking about their experiences, and you want that sort of, I guess you call that grit, that reality to be there rather than having a polished fantasy. So that's sort of the preference where I'm coming from in terms of the music here. So I'm adding some more tracks to the library. I still have to do more work on that, but it's sufficient for now. What you'll see is that you're going to see now that every once in a while, because I can't do the uploading and editing almost every single day to get it sort of to push out properly in terms of getting it its maximum exposure on the internet. What I'm going to be doing is some episodes will be put together, and so you get 2 episodes into one. And it's simply because there's no way of always getting everything done. Like yesterday, after I went to the funeral, left there around 2 o'clock for the funeral. Then went right to my parents' house after that. Then went to church around 6:37 for Kimisis. That is again, going to church is not something like really going. It's like going over to somebody's house. So I went over to the funeral. We hung around with my old friend that I grew up with. Then I went to my parents' house, hung around for a bit, and then we went to church and again hung around for a bit. You're hanging out there with people that you know, uncles, aunts, and other people like that, and it's like visiting. That's all. That's what it is. It's not like, it's not a stodgy place. So, and then that didn't finish until I didn't get home from there until about 9:30. And then around 9:30, I went to T&T to do my food shopping, and didn't get back until around 10:30, 11. The good thing about T&T is that in the area that I'm in, that T&T is open till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So even if I get home late and I need to go food shopping, I can still go food shopping. And so that was the day yesterday. And there was no time to do editing. There was no time to do the rendering. There was no time to do the uploading, because these things these things could take up to a half hour, 45 minutes, just to do the rendering. So. And then the upload takes about another half hour. So you're talking about between rendering and uploading. This does not include the editing here. Between rendering and uploading, you're talking about a good hour and a half, 2 hour stretch that you have to have in order to do that. And if that doesn't exist during the day, then I have to push the episode forward to the next day, and that's how you start falling behind. And I was trying to catch up, but that didn't work out. So the simplest solution is to sort of push 2 episodes into one when it's necessary. So that's what's happening. That's what happened last episode. You'll see that there's 2 episodes, August 14th and August 15th, are run together as a single episode. So that's where that goes. And I'm going to get back to the editing so I can do. So I just finished doing the music. I'm going to get back to the editing part of it now, and then it'll render, upload, and I'll see you there. So anyways, I'll see you in the next segment of this episode. So yeah, it's just about 10 to 12 midnight. Yes, 23 hours and 50 minutes into the day of August 16th, 2012, and this is the second and certainly the last segment of this episode of BigBangTheoryRL. As things usually happen, you set out with a plan at the beginning of the week to have a certain amount of work done, but as you proceed along, invariably things pop up, and the amount of work you get done in terms of what you planned to do, it doesn't get done, but other things get done. For example, I have planned to work on the website, bringing from the standard website to web presence so that everything can be based on that. This includes some of the work I'm doing for that new channel that I'm working on. That's kind of installed a little bit because of debug work that had to be done on the system today. I did do some debug on both systems, and that sort of pushed things back to where, in terms of where I am, in terms of moving the new feature forward that I'm still working on. Yeah, that's it. So that took me off track a little bit. The issue was here with ALSA, still again with ALSA, that ALSA doesn't necessarily have the proper settings here. And so I dug further into that. Today I'm going to be looking at and seeing if I could write the files that are missing. It seems like to me that what's missing is our config files. And if I can get the right settings to get the config files working, then that will be a bonus, and I'll be able to sort of resolve this whole problem with NVIDIA and AMD as opposed to Intel. So that's where I'm going next. Right now I'm a little tired. It's been a rather long day. So everybody, it's kind of sore from yesterday because. Like I said, I was at the funeral at 2 o'clock, from 2 to about 5:36 at the funeral. Then from 6:30 on, I was at church for Kimisis. Got back around 9:30. Went food shopping at T&T, and didn't get back till about 10:30, 11 o'clock in the evening. And that was sort of near the end of my day, and I sort of film my the last segment of that episode of BigBangTheoryRL that later on in the evening. But I still got some time today because I am going to be uploading another episode of BigBangTheoryRL. I was going to upload it together and sort of squeeze them together, but I realized that as I was editing it, that would have been too long to do that. So my decision was and is to do 2 uploads today. So I'm uploading 2 episodes of BigBangTheoryRL, and you'll be able to, so that will sort of get us caught up to where we should be, and it doesn't keep the BigBangTheoryRL doesn't become too long. Now I'm also thinking, because I do have a larger format. I can do up to a half hour, 45 minutes, or even longer than that. For my channel, I'm thinking of trying to sort of see if I can get enough material to do a half hour format, something like that. I know Big Bang Theory is done a half hour every week, but I don't know if I can do a half hour every day. Question. So I'll see what I can do. I was going to try to format it a little bit, maybe a little better. I think maybe in between scenes do some form of segue or a transition between segments. Right now, one just moves into the other, and there's no real sort of transition between the two. So the question is whether or not I should put a transition there or I shouldn't put a transition there. I'm going to kind of try to experiment around with that. If you have any ideas on that, just let me know. Let me know what you think of what I'm doing, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm going to end it here, and continue on with my work on the computer. All right, take it easy.
Welcome to the library, and I am the librarian. I am the professor. And professor of what? Professor of physics.
Free speech rules here at Democratic Earth.